Hello everybody, my name is Blue and today I am finally back with another speed build video on Planet Zoo with the new tropical DLC, or the tropical pack that came out. Unfortunately this video is a bit late. The reason for that is because, well, firstly I don't have early access to the DLC like a lot of other YouTubers, so well, I basically had to start building when the pack came out, and I had a lot of other things to do, like the competition that's been going on the Planet Zoo Discord, so I had little time for actually building something and recording this episode. But we're finally back with a speed build, and this episode we will be doing a new zoo for the tropical pack called the Lost World of Losango, and I'm pretty sure Losango is just a literal translation to rhombus or diamond shape or something stupid like that, but it sounds good, so that's why I went for that. And in this episode we will be building the Lar Gibbon enclosure. So the Lar Gibbon is like the flagship animal of the pack. It's not my favorite, but it's the flagship animal, and I thought it's a good animal to start with. And for the Lar Gibbon we will be building the Lar Gibbon temple, I think that's what it should be called. And yeah, it's going to be a lost city, so it's going to be less zoo-like, although it's definitely still zoo-like, but it's going to be focusing on the fact that this is some Indonesian city, or like a lost world rather than a lost city. But yeah, the Lost World of Losango, and I'm using basically all the new tropical pack pieces. I'm not even sure if I use some like base game pieces for the actual building, although I'm not sure. But as you can see, I have used those statues as well, tropical pack, and I shouldn't even explain the pieces that I'm using because they're all new pieces, and I don't really know the names of the new pieces either, so I can't do the thing I do usually where I explain basically which pieces I'm using. I have absolutely no idea. I do know that most of it is just called Mossy Temple Brick, or just Mossy Temple something, for all the Mossy Temple pieces. And then the gold is Gladed something. I'm not sure what they're actually called. Anyway, it's a very gold and fancy temple, I suppose. Although I've got some comments that I say suppose too much, so I have to try to not say suppose. I'll do my best on that. I can't help it. I notice it when I say it, but yeah. But anyway, it's just a square building, so, and I actually use the Mossy Temple bricks in its original color, although I made it a bit more vibrant. But I looked at some inspirational images. A lot of the actual Indonesian actually use these bricks in this same orange color. So I thought I'll do that as well, using the orange color to represent the actual temples that they use. And yeah, so none of it is grid piece, I believe. It's all just off grid, even the roof. And actually, I'm pretty sure that the pack does not include any grid roof pieces, which could be quite annoying for some of you, but I don't mind personally. But yeah, I can definitely see how that's a bit annoying, but I think the purpose of the roof pieces isn't to use them as a grid anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to just add some trims and details, and even using these cloth pieces, which I didn't expect, but yeah, it was a nice surprise to see the cloth pieces as well. So I used some of those cloth pieces around the build, and I just added a second layer, only a 2-layer roof, I guess. I can't say I suppose anymore. Yeah, I suppose it's, no, see, this is what I mean, I just automatically say I suppose. That is just, I don't know. But anyway, this is a second layer with, I don't know what the pieces are called. I think this is also just a Mossy Temple piece. But yeah, the Lar Gibbon. What can I say about the Lar Gibbon? It's a high quality design. I've talked about it in screenshots. But yes, the Lar Gibbon is a very highly requested species, and I think after the Siamang, after the addition of the Siamang in the observation pack, a lot of people were afraid that we wouldn't get the Lar Gibbon since it's another gibbon species. I think we're all glad that we got the Lar Gibbons anyway. Although I wouldn't have minded to get like a new world species of monkey perhaps, but you know, the Lar Gibbon was requested, so it's fair on Frontier for adding them. And I also want to mention the new features of the free update, especially the like those in like in one direction, so you can do like a horizontal or vertical movement. It's a bit annoying sometimes, I must admit, because sometimes if I want to just move the green or red arrow, I accidentally click in like green. But also it's quite handy because a lot of the times you can just easily move the piece that you want to move out in a certain horizontal plane without having to do it in like two paths, having to move X and Y or X and Z, and just move it in the horizontal plane instantly, which is really handy, I must admit, but sometimes a bit annoying since you accidentally click on it sometimes. But that said, it's a nice feature, definitely a nice feature. And basically the temple is nearly done now. I'm adding a small entry point building to the side, basically just a small gazebo the staff members will enter. It's something simple, you don't really see it since it's in the back, but it's there and you can kind of see like a little building in the back, so that's cool. It adds a bit more detail, I suppose. Well, I said I suppose again. There should be a counter of me saying I suppose, to be honest. But yeah, so the roof, also just a super simple roof. It's just, well, it's just a pointy roof. That's what it is. And then fence around. I do the mesh first, but I eventually cover it up with a custom wall, just using the same tropical pack pieces. The whole build is tropical pack pieces except for the rocks. And then I also make the islands a bit smaller since I thought it was a bit too big when comparing it to the size of the gibbons. And the end result still is a bit big, really. But, you know, I don't mind giving the gibbons a big space. But now I'm doing the actual, like, that way you would look at the gibbons, the actual viewing point of the enclosure. With a ledge, because it's going to be 3 different islands, surrounded by water, obviously, so since that's how islands work. I still got a bit of the island spirit in my zoo, despite Island Pack not being the DLC that I expected it to be. Although, I shouldn't get too much into the island spirit in this zoo, since I am quite confident that the next pack will be islands, so I will definitely be doing an island zoo, which is quite exciting, but, you know, that's a bit far away for now, so let's focus on this zoo right now, and I'm building a rock face with like a temple integrated into it, like ruins of a temple that used to be there, with some, yeah, just some rocks, I suppose. Well, I said I suppose again. Every time I say it, I notice it. I don't notice it whilst I'm saying it, if that makes sense. But yeah, yeah, temples, and then, well, yeah, temple ruins rather. I reuse the same model for each side, and I just edit it a bit, and then I end up adding moss on top of the rocks as well. And there will be moss on top of every single rock that I do in this build. So a very, very mossy build, and you know, it's a tropical build, so it's going to be very mossy, very green, and a lot of plants, a lot of bamboo specifically, since this zoo is supposed to be in Indonesia, I suppose. I said I suppose again. I can't help myself. This episode is going to be all about me saying I suppose and me complaining about the fact I say it, since you noticed me saying it. Now I can't unnotice it, I guess. Oh no. Oh god. But anyway, this is the custom wall I was talking about. It's a quite basic wall with a a mesh fence to keep the gibbons from escaping, although they can't escape. It's for realism's sake. I think that the gibbons can use the bricks to grip onto to climb out, so basically the mesh kind of prevents them to actually escape in this realistic scenario. And then a huge rock face in the back with a lot of plants eventually as well. We get a load of the faux rocks. I mean, you can't have a build without faux rocks, let's be honest. Faux rocks are quite amazing. I use a lot of it in my grassland zoo, and I will use a lot of it in this zoo as well. Starting with the gibbons. And yeah, I'll mix it up with some actual tropical rocks to make it look more naturalistic, perhaps. And yeah, as you can see here, and then I end up adding the moss on top as well. And then yeah, it's gonna be a ruined city. That's what it is. Well, maybe it's not gonna look like a city, but it's gonna be a lost world. That's the quite literal translation or a literal description of what this whole zoo is going to be. And yeah, as you saw, I added a tiny waterfall that comes from in between the rocks, and then I reuse the same temple ruins over here on this other rock feature with yet again more moss. That was quite a surprise, wasn't it? And I think after that I'll do the oh no, I do the wall, that same wall, just the same one I've used previously. Then I start doing the path. Actually, no, surprisingly enough, I thought this was one of the last ones I did. But anyway, this is a low fence, and I made it low enough using the dummies again, making sure it's low enough so children can also look over it, and the gibbons obviously can't escape since they can't swim. And if they could, then it would still be a steep edge to get up to anyway. But yeah, they can't swim, so that's nothing to worry about. And yeah, it's just a short, simple wall, and yet again using the same tropical pieces. So you know, it's not even pointing me explaining which pieces I use, since it's all just from that pack. So if you want to know which piece it is, just scroll through the tropical pack list. The Indonesian theme, I think it's called. So yeah, basically. And then the invisible path, as I said, I actually use the invisible path. That's one of the new features of this update, which is quite cool. I really love it, because you don't have the annoying wood stubs on the side. It's just a clean path. It's super awesome. And then I build a little archway or gazebo or something like that. I don't know how you want to explain it. And I add the same archway above the low wall to spruce it up a bit, I suppose. And I said I suppose again. But yeah, I use the wood pieces as well, because I noticed I haven't used those pieces yet, and I thought I'll just utilize them here, and it works out basically. There are these cool like wood square pieces which are really cool. I'm not sure what you could use them for. Well, actually you could use them for a lot of things. I'm sure you could use them for barrels or other small wooden objects. Any small piece is awesome, so that's definitely one of my favorite pieces in this pack, just because it's small and versatile. But I must say that I'm a big fan of the tropical theme, since I love temple pieces, and I think it's a big upgrade from the South American temple pieces we've got. I feel like the moss really adds to it, and it looks more detailed. I think every single pack is more and more detailed, including the building pieces, not only the animals. And then this is the final temple ruin wall that I build, I think, and I copy over a couple of times, and I edit it a bit a couple of times as well. And then I think after that, all I do is a load of plants, and then the huge climbing structure that I will build, and a couple more rocks. So there isn't much more I can tell about this whole enclosure, although I do want to mention, when you see me do the climbing structure, it's inspired by a lot of different Lar Gibbon enclosures, since when I look at Lar Gibbon inspired enclosures, or just like inspiration based on real life Lar Gibbon enclosures, so just any gibbon enclosure, then all the climbing frames kind of look the same way. They just have these like tripods of of beams, of wooden beams with basically ropes in between. I used the lianas, yeah, the vines instead of rope, since they can brachiate on the vines, although they don't really do it a lot anyway still. But I suppose that's just the climbing system being funky as always. But yeah, I used vines instead of ropes just so they can brachiate. But basically, besides that, nothing much more that I can talk about. It's just, I suppose, enjoy the little, well, the rest of the speed build, and well, you won't have to listen to me saying I suppose anymore. So enjoy. Oh, and remember that there will be a quick little walkthrough at the end of the episode, so definitely stick to the end so you can see a quick overview of the exhibit. But yeah, anyway, enjoy. Alright, so here we are in the real-time walkthrough. I'll be fast because the speed build is quite long. But here we are, the Lar Gibbon enclosure, the first enclosure of the Lost World of Losango. So the gibbons, they can now use brachiation on the vines, but they don't really do it a lot. And the climbing is still a bit goofy, but you know, at least they climb, I suppose. So that's quite cool. They have quite a large enclosure, maybe it's a bit too big even, but I think that they deserve a large enclosure. But yeah, so there's some vines everywhere, and then there's, in the back there is that Indonesian like temple building kind of shebang. And yeah, a whole bunch of staff members. But yeah, so this temple pieces over here with like a nice rock face. Actually, I should place down some chairs here as well. And if you make our way over and under this little hatch, then we get to the other side of the enclosure with another view of a different island. Although the gibbons are currently on the middle island, but they can also climb over here if they want to. And yeah, that's basically the build, but we will do a quick view at night time as well, since I've worked with a light, so I think it looks really cool as well. What are you doing? Anyway, let's go to nighttime. Okay, so here we are again, but at night, and look at this, it's like a different world. So the climbing frame kind of glows green and orangey, which is cool, and the back has bunch of lights as well, and I think the overall build looks very nice. You are still running, you are on a mission, and the overall atmosphere with the lights, I must say, is quite nice. So we can also have a little walk over here as well and have a look at the nighttime. Very nice, and it's going to be a huge jungle. It's going to be a lost city, with this being the first building of the city in this Lost World of Losango, with the gibbons as the first enclosure. The Gibbon Temple, you could say. Well, I hope you enjoyed this speed build. Not really a long one. I am sorry for the late upload. I had a lot of other things planned, like the competition that I have to work on, which will also be a video that will be coming up. And you know, I don't get the early access as the other YouTubers do, so I had to build this all once the actual DLC came out. But yeah, this will be the new main zoo, I suppose, that we will be working on, the Lost World of Losango, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then let me know, or if you want me to do something else, then let me know, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.